Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and crypto markets are pumping today. XRP's had quite a run. You know what's interesting to see? There are a number of interesting things to talk about in this video, but first I want to note that there was a moment in the early AM hours today where I checked a number of different cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and XRP, and they kind of had this little bump up in tandem, and then some time passed and nothing happened, and then out of nowhere, XRP just rocketed. Like a brief, it's like a, maybe you can't call a full-on face melt. I mean, it might have felt like that for the moment because I'll show you the chart and it looks like a damn cliff wall, like straight onto the upside. And it had that big move before Bitcoin. Bitcoin ended up having its big move too. It ended up going above $21,000, which is a level that people have been talking about for some time now. It did, it's a little below the time I'm recording this, but it did. However, it was like several hours later when it started to move up in that direction, and it wasn't nearly as dramatic as what happened with XRP. And I'll just say this, having been in crypto for almost 5 entire years at this point, there haven't been that many occasions where you have the market more or less moving in tandem to the upside, but it being led first, the big move by XRP, and that's effectively what happened today. And I mean, look at these headlines. It's from you today. XRP making surprising 12% jump. Here's why. Here's one from the Crypto Basic. Investors' growing confidence takes XRP above 50 cents, up 10% in an hour. I'm not kidding you. I'll show you the chart in just a minute here, but I'm not kidding when I say cliff wall. And then there was this from you today. XRP records 1,500% volume spike. What's going on? And that headline was from yesterday. It preceded the price action, which is just interesting. And we'll talk about what perhaps caused all this, in part anyway. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this, XRP is a hair above 49 cents. Bitcoin just popped as I'm recording this, a hair above $21,000. Market cap for the asset class, $1.07 trillion. Bitcoin dominance declining to 37.6%, which shouldn't be too surprising. There's a number of altcoins that have popped off. And the crypto fear and greed index is at 30 out of 100. So people are in fear, but at least at this moment, not extreme fear. And take a look at this. For those of you that care to look at your screen, this is a 24-hour XRP price chart. And so right around here, let's just call it, I don't know, about 12:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, because that's the time zone I'm in anyway. You can see there's a little bit of a bump up here. And then at about 3:30 a.m., it's just this mountain formed on the chart. Look at that. It's just like a cliff face. You got to climb on up that bitch. That's not easy to do. Maybe you got fat fingers and you'll fall. But look at that. I mean, really, if you look at from when the biggest move started, so it was at 3:30, and then when it started to slow down, it wasn't until 45 minutes later. Look at that. It was just like, just out of nowhere. And then if you look at Bitcoin, again, you can see around that same time, call it roughly 12:45, it was around there. You saw the same little bump for Bitcoin, but it just kept moving sideways. And then when XRP took off around 3:30 a.m., Bitcoin wasn't paying attention. It was asleep, just kept going sideways and sideways. Again, it's usually Bitcoin that would have the big pop on the days where the market, in a general sense, if you zoom out on like days like today, it's usually Bitcoin that leads that. But it wasn't Bitcoin that led that today. And you can see it did end up rocketing up to some degree. You can see, I mean, this is fine, a cliff face, but a smaller one compared to XRP. And it got up at over $21,100 for a very short moment, then dipped back down. Just interesting to see that. And we will get to a point where eventually, and it may be a long time from now, but cryptocurrencies will be judged on their own merits. They're not sufficiently judged on their own merits today and their utility, but that's going to change at some point in time. It's just that right now, this is a very hard to grasp asset class, and it's global. And people haven't figured out which cryptocurrencies deserve to be here for the long haul. So it's not that surprising to see the market continue to move in tandem, even after 13 years of existence. And so then, again, as I cited here, a 12% jump. And it's just amazing to see because most of this, like I said, it happened inside of a couple hours or so. And volume sometimes precedes massive movements in terms of price action. And you can see this story from you today, just yesterday. XRP records 1,500% volume spike. What's going on? And they pulled data from CoinMarketCap showing 19 billion. So assuming that's accurate, and I have no way to vet that, but assuming that is accurate, and I mean, I believe you today's reporting it properly, but as long as CoinMarketCap's not making a mistake there, it's just interesting that you see a massive spike like that, because that's far outside the norms. Like for instance, today, I looked on CoinMarketCap and the volume was like 2.6 billion right before recording this. According to Live CoinWatch, it's only 1.77 billion. As far as the discrepancy, I don't know these specifics, but I do know that the websites pull data from various sources in different ways, resulting in different tabulations. So I can give you that as a partial answer, but in terms of the specifics, I don't know what their code's doing. That's private. They're the ones that know what that's doing. And then as far as today, what's going on here? Well, here's a headline from CNBC. U.S. payroll surged by 261,000 in October, better than expected as hiring remained strong. So the unemployment rate went up, womp womp, but not as severely as what was expected by pundits. And as a result, people were excited about that. Oh, it got worse, but not as bad as what the egghead said? Oh, cool, here's my money. That's basically what happened. Fun times, right? I came across this tweet from chart analyst Income Sharks, which I just really like the way that he articulated this concept, so I wanted to read this to you. He wrote, "The reason why most people end up buying high and selling low is because they don't worry about the markets crashing when prices are going up, but worry about another crash after it's already happened. Bitcoin is a better investment at $20,000 than it was $60,000. Trade the risk." Yeah, exactly. And so that's why I could not agree with him more. I mean, I've been saying this for the longest time. That's why at these price levels, I am happy to purchase cryptocurrency. And if it goes a good bit lower from this point, okay, I will take that. Because it seems to me like the bottom's in, or it's very close to in. And if there's a wild card incident, I got a bunch of cash on the sideline. I will continue to buy. If you just look at historical lows, my gosh, this looks like it. This looks like the place. And there's no guarantees in life. And I don't pretend to know for sure. I don't like the people that say they know for sure. I like it when people say they suspect so-and-so. That's fair. But yeah, I'm just telling you this. Like the people, because I've been here, like I said, almost 5 full years at this point. The people that were snatching up crypto when it was allegedly scary in 2018, like you saw Ethereum at like $88 and stuff like that, and then it went up to over like what 4,500 or something like that when the run started. You know, there are all sorts of cryptocurrencies that were super low, and then it's just and fine. We didn't have the same type of crazy run for vast majority of altcoins that we saw towards the end of 2017 and 2018, but still, the people that purchased in 2018, and I'm among them, like if you were around and buying, then you're probably sitting pretty right now. You know, and so it's the same concept here. I think that this is a similar type of area. So buying here, even if it goes a little bit lower for some period of time, I think if you fast forward another 4 years or 5 years, whatever it may be, just pick your timeline somewhere out there. I think the prices of these assets on the whole are going to look a lot more attractive than they are today. So I'm just thankful to have this opportunity, to be honest with you. And then take a look at this. This is from the Daily Hodl. The headline is, "Bitcoin will explode by over 4,600%, according to ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood." Here's her timeline. The founder and CEO of investment management firm ARK Invest, Cathie Wood, is doubling down on her fiercely bullish forecast for Bitcoin. Asked in a new Bloomberg interview whether ARK Invest is still holding on to the $1 million forecast, Wood answers in the affirmative. According to Wood, Bitcoin could go above $1 million by 2030, an increase of over 4,600% from the current price. Quote, "Oh yes, more than $1 million by 2030, end quote." Okay, so if you consider the degree to which technology is adopted and if Bitcoin's going to be here and be a leader, at some point hitting that price level seems inevitable if it's going to. I don't know what the timeline necessarily would be, and I'm not making a price prediction, just to be clear. I'm just speaking conceptually. But can you imagine what that's going to mean for altcoins? Because it takes much, much, much more money flowing in to get that type of percentage return in Bitcoin compared to something like XRP, for example. Which is why in 2022, I firmly believe it's the case that the opportunity, the greatest opportunity anyway, for life-changing wealth would be in altcoins. And XRP is still my number one, my favorite for so many reasons I've been articulating. I don't feel like rehashing right now, but it still is. I mean, utility out the wazoo. I don't even know what a wazoo is, but I believe that. Piece continues. On Bitcoin adoption by institutional investors, the ARK Invest founder and CEO says that the drop in the flagship crypto assets price by around 70% from its all-time high is triggering increased interest from the hollowed class of investors. So let me pause here to state, as I was noting a moment ago, this is the time to buy, in my personal opinion. I'm not telling you to buy. That is not financial advice. You make your own decisions. We're all adults here. But investors on the institutional level seem to think that it is. You know, even if they started to get their interest peaked for the first time when Bitcoin was around close to $70,000, you know they weren't going to buy then, right? If they were just starting their, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency journey or investigation, no, because they understand market cycles. So even if they were going to jump in, they'd wait for it to drop. And it seems like, indeed, they are moving in. There's all sorts of new institutions moving in. And fine, they're talking about Bitcoin here, but Bitcoin typically leads the market today. Is a bit of an outlier, I guess. Fine. I don't mind seeing XRP lead stuff. That's super duper. I'm a big XRP fan, obviously. But typically Bitcoin does, and altcoins follow. And I'm here for it. I love that. But take a look at this quote. It does appear that institutions are moving in. They're taking this price decline from nearly $70,000 to roughly $20,000 as an opportunity to move into a new asset class, end quote. According to Wood, institutional investors' interest in Bitcoin was piqued by the Boston, Massachusetts-based investment advisory firm Cambridge Associates 4 years ago. And here's another quote, and I like this one. In 2018, Cambridge Associates, which is a consultant for the institutional space, basically said to its clients, okay, you may not like this thing called Bitcoin. It may sound like a Ponzi scheme to you, but it's acting like a new asset class. And that got their antenna up because what institutional investment managers cannot miss is a new asset class that will diversify the portfolio, meaning lower the correlation of the returns, and Bitcoin is doing that, end quote. My friends, you are super duper early. Sometimes it feels like stuff takes forever, but when it comes to investing, there is no quicker way to get fantastic life-changing, returns, historically anyway, than investing in crypto. There's nothing like it, and it's not going to be like this forever. I still believe it's a once-in-a-species event, and here we are. I am thankful for it every day. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling really good about this. I'm just going to continue to hold. And I have purchased, I bought more Filecoin, by the way. I've purchased several times over the last, week and a half or so. And I'm going to keep doing that and other stuff. I plan on buying some more Algorand. I'm just trying to get more here while holding my biggest reserves in case what I don't think is probable actually happens, which would be a bigger drop. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.